Yeah, I've had about well, I've
Yeah,
had tons of about enough. I'm about to
yes,
lay in. I'm about to lay in on some stuff.
yes, we are. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GH Mini Spotlight and Recap.
Yeah, I've had about.
Coming to you live. One half of you live from Super Bowl Inglewood. That's right. I'm James Lott Jr. That's FrankMoran from another part of town. Hi, Frank.
Hey, everybody.
We're here to talk about your favorite show, our number 2 program on the network after our other show, Boba Fett, which is number 1. This is our number 2 on the network, Frank. You're part of the top 2 shows on my network. See, it's Frank, you guys. All Frank.
The secret sauce of JLJ Media.
It is, apparently. I had no idea. Should have. I would have had some more shows sooner. I don't know. Put you on this one, that one, this one. So they'll do a church now as you guys are coming in. We've had a great showing today. I don't know if it's because of Super Bowl or whatever. We've had a great showing live on every single episode today. Wide Our Bold Beautiful are out there. They're out there for your soapy pleasure. Go to your places to find them. They're there. Me, Tammy Govea, and Amanda Russ broke it down, broke it in half, and broke it up. So go over there and check us out. Talking trash about both our shows that we love. Also, today is the 6-year anniversary of GH Dirty Deeds. I have an episode out for that right now. You can check that out. Thanks to Lucretia Lyon, our girl who helped create that show in the beginning. Time was just flying. It really is just flying. I think those are all the church announcements. Yeah, the church announcements today, and that's it. So there you go. Okay. Well, I'm trying to think. Should we start? I guess. Well, it's all. So the Friday was its own episode, basically. Friday. So we'll start with that first, because that was shorter. So the whole week was the umbrella story of Peter and Louise, all that. So, but Friday they made a whole like right turn or left turn or side turn. And it's Valentine's Day Part 1, Frank. Valentine's Day Part 1 to be continued, Frank. What do you think?
Great. This was if this was indeed a Part 1, this was a terrible Part 1. So I was like, okay, sure. It was just filled with a lot of nonsense. So I mean, just I don't know. I mean, yes, hey, cool to do a Valentine's Day episode, but boy, I don't know. I watched this first episode and just thought, like, I mean, to get like a to be continued, really? You might as well just put that on any day of the week. I don't know what was so different about this episode, other than everybody was really, just to let you know it's Valentine's Day. Everybody's, either got pink on or they're going someplace that's got a bunch of flowers or hearts in there, just to remind you. But otherwise, it's like just a regular other day.
Yeah, it was I will say this. I've actually enjoyed the big storyline this week. I mean, as a whole, I enjoyed the umbrella story and how it was unfolding. We had 4 days of like just this and then this and then this and then this, and it was like, okay, now we're gonna change it. All of a sudden, oh, okay. I feel like it should have finished up the week that way. Maybe Monday started it because Valentine's Day is tomorrow. It just felt, everybody says boring. It was kind of, it was just like, okay, we'll pick it apart a little bit. Not really much to say, but we have one development that's very interesting. If they go that direction, Chet and Terry.
I don't, God love Chet, but you also know that if this is the big gun you're pulling out for a Valentine's Day episode, oh dear Lord, help us, because ain't much happening then.
When was the last time we saw him? I'm like, I forgot. At first, I was like, who that? I'm like, oh yeah.
I mean, it was before the floating roof exploded. I think it was like behind the bar.
That's right.
And some so when he was working over there, somebody came over and he was bartending.
Yeah, or something, right? Wasn't he? No offense to him or the actor. It was great, but it's like, okay. And I'll say, Risa Dorkin look good these days. Go on, girl. Whatever, she glowing. She looked good. But again, they trot Amy out every once in a while too. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's well, when you saw her in the opening credits, you're like, oh, all right, this is gonna be surprise, everybody. We got an Amy episode coming.
But they might put Chet and Terry to give Terry. Now, again, I feel like Frank. I'm gonna channel Frank right now. If they will follow through with this and show us a courtship and show us something substantial, I can get involved. If they don't, I can't get involved.
I agree a
I know
bazillion
you do.
a
Exactly.
bazillion percent on that. But
Yes.
I also think that one, it seems like I don't know, maybe the Chet thing's a misdirect and the other person is going to be coming. But
Oh,
even if that was the case, I also feel like if your opening salvo was Chet, like this is already feel like a red flag to me that it's like we're not really going to invest much in the storyline.
yeah.
You know, it's just yeah, which is a shame. I mean, because it
Right.
seemed to be the big thing. It's like, oh yes, this we're finally going to give Terry. She's going to be in a relationship. Excellent. A trans person getting
Yes.
an opportunity to have
Yes.
a relationship on a daytime on General Hospital. Awesome. And this is what it is. I mean, it's already bad enough that Terry doesn't get much to do anyway.
No. Right.
So, I mean, it's going to be like Brad and Lucas, where you rarely saw them,
Yes.
and then all of a sudden they're going to be getting married inside somebody's house, like Elizabeth's house.
Yes.
Like this is lackluster.
Yes. I agree. So I feel like you. I agree with you today. We're twin today. I agree with you. I say if they actually invest in it, okay, then I will be behind it. Show us the steps behind it.
Mhm.
Show us. I will be totally. It'd be great. But if they don't, and all of a sudden 2 months later they're together getting married, and then we see nothing on screen. Molly and TJ were the same. Remember, Molly and TJ were the same.
Yeah. Oh boy, and then we get scenes of them having their 5 month.
Yes, they did. The cups.
Yeah, the mugs, the pictures on them. That
Yes.
was great. Our domestic
Yes.
partnership.
I know. So I feel like Frank. When I saw, I was like, I know how Frank feels. I feel the same way. So, but we'll see. We'll see. They could surprise us, Frank. Who knows?
No, sadly, GH rarely surprises me in the good way. I shouldn't even say it surprises me in the bad way because I'm used to them kind of more often than not taking the less exciting choice.
That's true. That's true. Also on Friday, because side note, Young and the Restless did a kind of a Thanksgiving. So much I hate Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day episode on Friday also. But see, their show actually shows couples and things actually happen. So this Valentine's Day was weird because they're showing people we ain't seen in whatever in the Coons age or whatever. I don't know what's going on. They haven't seen them ever. See them anyway. They're like out there somewhere floating around, I guess, in Port Charles. It seems so awkward. So we have a Taggart Portia scenes with Trina, and it's not even Real Andrews, who, by the way, looks great these days. He's working out, looking great. It's the other Taggart. And okay.
It's unfortunate. Like my issues like with Chase and Brooklyn wanting them to be together because I think that's to add in all this unnecessary drama into them coming together, which I've already talked about before in previous episodes. That's driving me crazy. But I would have understood it if the show was trying to aim for a special Valentine's Day like get together. Hey, we're gonna get this. This is it. This is when they declare like we're both into each other. Let's see if we can do something with this. And at least by part one, indication of the fact that they're not even in that episode doesn't bode well for part two, and that's unfortunate because that would be the one couple that is like primed to really do something really romantic for a Valentine's Day episode, and we didn't get it.
Didn't get it. And all about Trina and Spencer, like they care. It was a waste. It was a waste of scenes.
Yeah, because I'm down with seeing Taggart, but I mean, it just seemed weird for this episode because it really had nothing to do about romance. It was all about like, oh, I don't have anybody. That's why I didn't say anything. Oh, you're right. Maybe I should get out there. Blah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the temporary Taggart guy is decent actor or whatever. I'm not against him. I'm just saying, it was like the scenes were like, okay, you're gonna bring Taggart out for that and not for other stuff. Why isn't he involved trying to find Peter? Like, to me, it was just whatever. Also, we had Elizabeth with the ripped up dress.
This is great for Valentine's Day, really showing that love. But yes, it plays into the fact that it's her anniversary with Franco. So yes, I can see why it's on this. But this again is another storyline that really needs to kick it up. I mean, this is our fourth. We've had the warehouse burning, the ring, the door closing, and now this dress.
Now it's dress.
Actually, it's the second time with a ring, isn't it?
So
Because we saw,
there was the rings.
yeah,
There was the
studio.
well, the studio. So she had to get all the artwork out. When she was
Yeah,
looking at the artwork, the door did a weird
yeah,
thing,
and then this dress.
and then the dress.
So for now, like this story, it needs to move on at this point because it's like you need to start showing a little bit more of what the storyline, what you want to do with the storyline.
And it's about romance. So they don't even show us like Tagger, wrong person, Finn having to sleep on the couch. It's talked about.
Great.
There's a Liz set. There's a set for Liz.
Yeah.
Why did we have like the cutesy moment of him having to lay on the couch and she goes to bed? Like they just didn't. It was just all talked about. So I'm not. I don't. I think Liz and Finn have zero chemistry. I don't feel it whatsoever.
It's this show. It was already kind of an awkward buildup, but at least I was willing to go along with it.
Yeah.
But man, this show again. That's another example. It's where they kind of put these roadblocks up into a relationship to the point where then you don't care about the relationship anymore. And so by that point, then they want to try to get them together. And I think as an audience, you lose all enthusiasm for that coupling, and you're like, whatever, who cares at this point? I mean, it's the same thing they did with Anna and Finn. I mean, and certainly there were real world issues. Fennell Hughes is gone for a while.
Yeah,
that threw in some roadblocks, but I feel like that's too often what GH does, to its detriment when it comes to having some romance in daytime.
you guys. I mean, yeah. I just think that Finn. I love Michael Easton. I love Becky Hurst. As I love them both, but I don't see it, and they're not really showing us. We get cutesy glances, innuendos. It's cutesy here and there. Even when they rushed over to see Chase and them, it was more about Finn talking to Chase down. I mean, it was their scenes were actually amazing. Like him and Josh Strickland have great chemistry as brothers and everything. I mean, I'm like, it's just kind of like, and they mentioned the parents. I'm glad you didn't tell Jackie and Dad about them. Like, we haven't seen Jackie and Dad. So I mean,
I don't know. It's frustrating. It's quick 10-second tangent on that. Again, Kim Delaney. Do you feel like, all right, wait, did we just waste our time with Gregory Harrison and Kim Delaney on these roles? Clearly, it seems like we have.
Right.
Because they were capable of so much more, and we didn't really do anything with them while they were
here. No. Yeah. It's completely. Yeah. I don't know. So it's just, I don't know. But we got a piece of that on Friday. What other piece? Oh, what other piece we get on Friday? We had Nina and Ava. I was laughing the whole time. I thought Ava being so giddy Ava was speechless when Nina told her what happened. Ava was just spit taking her martini. She was like, "Oh, you did? Oh." She was like, "Oh." I mean, I don't know. It made me laugh. I thought the whole exchange was kind of funny. But just well, maybe you guys do have a chance, and and how was it? I just wrote down. Ava was giddy and speechless. She was hilarious to me. I thought it was hilarious. Yes, it's weird that she slept with Sonny too and has Avery. Her and Nina being friends seems weird to some folks. I'm over. I like them being friends. I kind of like it. I don't care. But I just thought it was funny. I thought Ava was just deliciously eating it up. Ava was the MVP. I love it. I thought she was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why they didn't talk about like, oh well, yeah, I had sex with them on the Quartermain crypt. So yeah, when somebody does that move, oh, it's the best, isn't it? Ugh.
Exactly. When he does that thing, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but no, I agree. But it's always interesting with Ava, where it's just I feel like it always rides that fine line of how much is Ava genuinely wanting to be a friend, and how much of it is just goading Nina on because she likes seeing it being stuck to Carly and Sonny.
Well, when she said, I mean, I did laugh really hard. You're right about that. She's like, and yeah, I slept with Sonny, and then Carly walked in. She's like, and Carly walked in. I thought, oh yeah, I almost did scream. I just thought, I mean, just more Arrested the Bomb. She's such a great actress. She's so good. And the way she was just like sitting there like a Cheshire cat, just eating it alive. She loved it. She loved every minute of it. But she was in shock that it went that far. She was like, she don't go that far. So yes, Ava walks that line. I think of she likes Nina once again, but then she's also voicing Carly, of course. I mean, who doesn't?
Uh,
Oh my God, you're right. Side note: when Tagga goes, "What's her name?" Esme. Wait, what's her name? That made me laugh. That made me laugh. Think of French. That made me laugh. Sorry for that made me laugh. It can't be both. The same to you, Frank. It can't be both, Frank. To Ava.
it can be, sure. I mean, that's fine. Yeah. I just think it's very interesting it's to watch that relationship and just think about what's going on with Ava, what her agenda is. Which is just a testament to at least Mara West's great acting in there.
Oh, she's hilarious.
Yeah, just whether intentional or not, she's finding those bits within the dialogue to kind of really, play those two different levels.
Yeah.
The one thing I'm tired, I think I'm tired of this official cliche in
Okay.
all media,
Okay.
and it just reminded me of it here in this.
He said in all media. Okay, he said in all media, folks. Okay, go ahead, Frank.
Is somebody comes over on the day of a holiday and doesn't realize it's that holiday. Ugh, get out of here with that. What day is it? It's Valentine's Day. It is. Get out. Get out of here.
Y'all get out. Y'all get out.
No, that just doesn't fly anymore. That's just ridiculous. It is just ridiculous. No. You may be excited about the holiday. You might be dreading it, but I feel like nobody these days is caught by unaware of when a big national holiday is happening. Oh, it is. Yes. It is. Oh, it's Christmas.
It's Christmas, and I love it. Yes.
Like the one I might give it to you is Arbor Day. Arbor Day, maybe.
Oh, I love my Arbor Day.
Oh. People are thinking at the top of mind of Arbor Day, but a Valentine's Day, a St. Patrick's Day, a July 4th, a Thanksgiving, a Christmas, Halloween.
You know what time it is.
Oy.
That's hilarious. I love that. And then we had a couple of talk tos. We had Sam and Carly, and a new character with a nice little short hairdo. I guess is her assistant now. So got some lines.
Yeah, because she did that dopey thing and put it on the shared calendar.
I know. I saw that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And then we had Phyllis talking to Sonny.
James, I don't know how you feel. What I feel Phyllis has just become just like this person that is just there for Sonny just to talk to, or Nina. It's just like she's gonna have nothing of her own. She only exists
exactly
to be in Charlie's and to talk to Sonny and Nina when they both come into the bar.
I hate that. I hate it. I hate it. I think it's. I mean, Joyce Guy can act. She's an actress. She can act. Yes, it was sweet when they thought about Lenny. Talked about Lenny. That was very sweet when they had her at that moment. But put her in the rest of the city. There's other things she could do. I don't want her to be just this house maiden that watches over everybody, she's like the magical Negro and talks to everybody about their problems. No, she's a full-blooded woman who has her own opinions, experience. There are other Black folks on the canvas. So other people on the canvas. Move her around. I don't want her just stuck behind the bar. Okay, Sonny. Okay, Nina. Let's talk once again about each other. I mean, it's all the conversations. They're not even diverse conversations, Frank. They're the same conversation, different ways. He has the same conversation with Nina about Sonny, and Sonny about Nina.
It's
I'm like boring.
And it's just, I don't feel like we're ever really going to follow up on that story of, Stella and having like that 23andMe. What would have been Trina thinking it might be, the connection to like, oh, could that be the reason that Curtis has a daughter? That's why it popped. Or could it be, hey, maybe it's Phyllis. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's some connection there. But whatever it is, like, you got to do. Please, just like, it's a shame.
Move around.
Yeah, that just bring her into Port Charles and just have her just rooted in Charlie's and doing nothing but endure having to listen to Sonny and Nina.
No, come on. She deserves better than that. Yeah. And give her some good storyline, please. Come on. Like, you can move her around. Yes, and yes. Well, get her involved with Marshall. Get her involved. I mean, all kinds of, whatever. Do it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Get her some stuff. I don't want her just to talk to you. I think that's so common. They do that. And they do that a lot of times to Black women, older Black women come on. They bring them on for that reason. I don't like that. I'm calling it out on Black History Month. I'm calling it out. I do not want that because Stella gets plenty of story. She runs around, it's all kind of stuff. So why can't she? You
Yeah.
know, Jordan gets storyline, Portia gets storyline. They move them around. So let's get Phyllis. She can act. So the chick can act. So let's get her out there, and get her around.
Get her Laura. Come on, that's always good.
Right. So but that was the Friday. So that was just Friday's episode. That was just like something little to be continued. Nina walks in to see Sonny, the whole thing, of course. I'm gonna leave him alone. I'm not gonna look for him. But you go to Charlie's for the anti-Valentine's Day Charlie's.
All right. I'm sorry. I know we have other episodes. This is a good segue since you brought that up.
Yeah, no, it actually could be. Yes, a good segue.
The Nina Sonny storyline, I am donezo with this storyline. For as much as I railed on getting Sonny back to Port Charles, this like, all right, we're done with Nixon Falls. Please, can we get back to Port Charles and kick the next phase of the storyline off? Man, it's like, and this is what we're getting. I am tired of being stuck in these circles of the Sonny and Nina conversations, the Carly and Sonny conversations, the Sonny and the Nina and Carly stuff. I'm just tired of all of that. Nothing's progressing. It's all just mired in this kind of just variations. We're just going to keep moving around, but it's always the same conversation. And it's just, I feel like the thing that is missing, and you talked about this a lot, James, is that Nina just needs to own it and just needs to be taking it, because it's not as sad sack as she was in Nixon Falls, but this whole take of just like, I'm just trying and it just always seems to keep falling apart around me. I'm just tired of that. Just tired. It's awful. It's awful. The storyline stinks.
So what's funny is Tammy said the same thing to me. She hates the storyline now. The chat room's mixed. I was like, no, Frank. The other one was like, me too, Frank. So it's mixed, which means they're doing their job, obviously. So I feel the opposite of Frank. I actually like it now. See, I before I didn't like it. Now I'm like, the fact they slept together, good. I'm glad they slept together. And I actually like the fact that they're conflicted. So I feel the opposite. I'm actually glad they're conflicted, and that because to break Carson up, this has to be something they have to really go that direct, because that's the whole thing. I always said, people got mad at me last week because I said that Carly and Sonny are endgame. People got mad at me online. Oh, James, but I feel like that's what they always want us to think. They're endgame, right? They want us to think that Sonny and Carly, they go through 10,000 things, but they always come together. But see, I like that Sam was like, no, I get it. He slept with Nina. Carly saw Nina in bed with her man. That, to me, that's a major thing. And for Carly, she's hurt. So I was like, I think they're scared. They're almost scared to break them up completely, because that's what they keep kind of, the circles are happening. You're right, there are circles happening. But I think it's because they're really trying to show us these two, I think, are done for now. And that now you can go with Nina. I think that's what they're trying to do. So I'm kind of I think it did progress somewhat, because I hate Nixon Falls too. Like, yeah, I hate Nixon Falls. But I think it did progress now, because now I'm liking this conflicted Sonny. I like it.
But I can't stand any more conversations. I just don't ever want to hurt you. I've already done too much, dude. I don't want to do any more. I'm leaving. So wait. And then he calls her back, and then they talk some more. And it's just, that happens in every one of the conversations. And it is frustrating as all get out. And I'm absolutely fine if you want to break up Carly and Sonny. Great. But I need to feel like it's as we've said before, as I've said before, I need to feel like it's a Carly and Jax kind of break, where she is married to another man and they're together for several years and they have their own storylines that are just theirs. If the show's willing to make that kind of commitment and do this for several years, then awesome. But if it is just like, hey, we're just doing this for 6 months to kind of throw a little roadblock into the Carly and Sonny thing, and then they're just going to come back together, then, buh. And I don't know. I just feel like I feel like the point's been made. Like, I get it, guys. You want to break them up? Cool, let's do it. But you can't. I can't have any more of these scenes of them just kind of going around. And I don't know if I'm really thrilled about, like, they keep painting Carly as like the person wronged. And like the scene where she's strolling through the haunted star and she's got like were playing it up like, oh, hey, Carly's really putting herself out there. She's trying. Oh, and now she's hurt. And it's just, it's Sonny's fault. And it's all him. And I feel like this storyline is Carly's been elevated to be like, I'm the person wrong, and I really did nothing to this. And Sonny's made it feel like, oh man, you are the jerk that has these feelings, and you don't know what to do with them, and you slept with Nina. So I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like that's the point, right? That's the whole everything you're saying. I think that's the point. They always do that. They always hold Carly to a different standard than Sonny. They've always done that on the show. So I feel like you're supposed to feel that. That's the whole point. Is that Carly, who's been on every day, she's so when they had Sonny bring up Jason, which was very interesting, even though that's a byproduct of it's kind of a weird byproduct of Nina not telling that he's alive. But see, here's the thing: Nina had no obligation to tell anybody anything. She didn't have to if she didn't want to. I mean, you guys don't like that, but that's the truth. She has no obligation to get somebody else's business and say he's alive. She didn't have to. She should have, but a nice thing she should have, but she didn't have to. There's no law. She didn't break any law. That's why the whole lawsuit thing was dumb. She didn't break any laws. She just didn't say nothing. But now, with Carly falling in love with Jason, Sonny has a right to feel some type of way about that. He does. Because again, Sonny actually is the victim out of all of this. He really is. He lost his memory, and all this stuff happened. And for him, it's happening to him. So in a way, like you said, it's not like Carly's a victim on some level too, a little bit, of course. On some, the person who's not a victim is Nina. She's the one who's not a victim. But all the other ones are kind of victims of this whole thing. Jason was too. They're all there because stuff was happening outside of their purview. So now things happen. But Carly fell in love with Jason. But that means she didn't fall overnight. Something was there beginning. There was something there before that. And that's what Sonny is talking about, that you went full in there. But her thing is like, but no, we thought you were dead. But her point is right too. You didn't wait 24 hours, like at least like before you slept with Nina. So I mean, but I'm glad they stepped together. I thought something should have happened by now. I'm glad now they stepped together. So good, that's out the way now. Like at least that's been done.
Yeah,
I feel like that's what we've been waiting to have happen. And I think, and as Sonny's excuses, I kind of understand where he said, I didn't say anything at first because then Jason died, which was an unexpected thing. Jason dying ruined a lot of storylines all of a sudden, and as we know in real life, Homeboy was off the show. So a lot of things kind of stunted the whole Maxie, because Rick could be with Maxie. I mean, it kind of affected a bunch of storylines. So there was a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff. Sonny lost his memory and didn't know what was going on. So it really isn't. And he integrated his feelings. It's not as funny as feelings for both. I don't think it's his fault. It's feelings for both. I actually like Sonny's acting. I love how he's conflicted these days. I love it.
She's calling the shots, and I ain't having it.
That's the old Sonny, right? That's what Sonny would. Sonny likes to as a control freak.
Yeah, I mean, I will admit. I mean, Carly did have the point when they were throwing it in each other's face about time. I need time for this, Carly. Oh, so you need time to process these feelings, but you won't give me time to kind of just chill out. So, I mean, yes, there were points about that. So,
but Carly is hypocritical in many ways, and so is Sonny. The whole thing is they both are these two people who are damaged folks, who are high and mighty and control freaks who got together. So so the way you feel about them, the way I feel, it's all correct in some way. All of it's right because that's how they are. Folks complain about them, going, "Why are you complaining about them?" That's how they've always been self-righteous and self-serving and self. That's what they do. That's what Carly and Sonny do.
Yeah, I mean, Sonny. I mean, no surprise that Sonny immediately rebounds and sleeps with Nina. I mean, he's also the one who's I talked about. We just mentioned earlier is that slept with Ava in the Quartermain crypt. So I mean, that was super fast and out of the blue. When Sonny's hurt, he likes to get into bed with the nearest woman, and just drown his feelings in the sack. We've all been there, right?
Right. We sure. But I'm just glad that Carly and Drew did not sleep together. I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't go there.
No, that would not. I don't think that would have been a good choice. I'd be curious to see who would be a person that Carly could be in a relationship for a while with. I don't know
Well,
who.
same with Drew too, because Drew basically said goodbye to Sam. Basically,
Oh, please, yes. And I don't know. I feel like the show is trying to play a little note where it's like, oh, but if Sam really knew how Drew feels, she probably wouldn't have said that I love you to Dante. Like, no, no, please no. Just do not sing Drew with Sam. Do not sing Drew with Sam. So, ugh.
yes. The whole town is hypocritical. Yes, that's the whole point. Yes, the whole town is hypocritical. So I think we have to get over that part. Just that they're all going to say stuff that's just you're like, what? Really? What? They all going to do that. They're all self-serving. That's what it is. And Sonny and Carly are the two biggest proponents of that. They've always been that way.
No,
Yes.
yeah, I mean that's true, and maybe it's just me being tired of the real world implications that have made me weary of the soap opera tropes. But like a lot of, you're right, a lot of this happens on being a hypocrite or being a lot of whataboutism. Just
Yes.
and being tired of the whataboutism in the real world at this point in
That's
life.
true too. That's true too.
Oh, all right, we get it. Move on.
Yes. No, I agree with you. There's a lot of that going on in real life too. Yes, I agree with you. But Sante have declared their love for each other, and they, like you said, because he got shot, now they're recommitted.
I, I,
So
I don't. I really don't care. I really don't.
same here. I don't either.
Yeah. I mean, again, the show hasn't done much with those characters anyway to make the declaration of love feel like, yeah, finally. Okay, sure. If you say so. But no.
Not him. Yeah, not at all. Okay, so that leaves open to now this huge umbrella story, which I do like. I found myself watching General Hospital first every day, Monday through Thursday, to see what was going to happen. I felt like it was suspenseful, where people were actually being smart. There's some things that happened I didn't expect to have happen. There's some great performances. Just unfortunately, FrankMoran, it's centered around one guy. I think Frank Valentini is personally keeping him on the show just to bother me, Peter. I mean, they really did. I give it to them. They weaved a tale. They wove, whatever, a tale that just completely does. It touches tentacles are going out everywhere. So let's start. It starts to come out the whole week that Bailey is Louise. And I love that I love when Robert loved it. When
Yeah.
Robert was like, that's our girl. I loved it. I thought that is so realistic. I love that everybody is kind of going, you know what? We get it. It's tough, but we totally get it. I'm loving that. I'm learning that starting to come out. And then, of course, we'll talk about Peter Victor in a second, but I want to talk about the baby that's coming out. And Ned, I have to say, and Frank and I talk this all the time. Wally Kurt's a great actor. We know that. He's a great actor. When given the material, he's great. I saw Amanda Seaton, especially as Brooke, I saw wonderful, wonderful, heartfelt scenes between these two this week.
Agreed. Yeah, it's the stuff that Brooklyn's had to do in the storyline, and it's great to be able to that we're not just, yes, it's Maxie's baby, and yes, that's like the big connection for this, but yes, Brooklyn has also developed quite an attachment to that kid as well, and so and it's already been kind of touched by various people have kind of mentioned throughout the storyline to Brooklyn that this could happen. Like, what about you when this time comes? And it's great to just see the Brooklyn part of it being played out as well.
I love that Brooklyn is honest about who she is. And when she's talking to them, she's like, we weren't friends at first. I did this for a reason. There's a reason why I did this. But she fell in love with this little girl. And she really did. I mean, I have to say, I loved her scenes with Valentine. Again, James Patrick Stewart, he can make lemons out of lemonade. He's so good anyway. So when they finally found him, and and he's there, we'll get to all that too. But her scenes where they both were in remorse, that it just they were a family for a while. They really were working out as a family, and that it was all an illusion. But as you and I said from the very beginning, if he had known, he would have understood. Like, he totally understands. But see, now there are feelings hurt. But he totally understood. He would have understand. He would have understood.
Yeah. No, I agree. That was the one scene I was really excited about seeing, is to once Valentine knows the truth, to have the two of them have a conversation. Yeah, so I was glad to see that scene. You know, I still would have preferred Valentine being in the loop sooner.
Yeah,
That would have been made more sense of the storyline, but you know, at least we got it now.
Yeah, it's like, yes, and when Brooklyn says, Annie, I agree with you. She says, "Their girl to Maxie," I love it. It's like she's killing it. Amanda Seymour's killing it as Brooklyn. I think I think it's a complicated situation that's going to be messy. It's going to be messy, period. But the fact is, Maxie and Brooklyn have a whole new respect for each other because they're in this together. They're in this together, and now adding Chase in there, and now Austin's in it. And we can get Austin. He's in there too, and he's around. He's around. He's buzzing around too, and Victor's buzzing around also. And then Charlotte.
Yeah, that was the weirdest part of this whole storyline for me. Is like, yes, I could see the reason story-wise why they needed to set it up, because Peter needed an ace in the hole. Yeah, it made sense to go against Victor. He needed to have one trump card to play to ensure that he didn't get killed, just dealing with Victor. But the fact that Peter knew all this, like that he knew that Valentine was out of pocket, that he knew that she was staying with Kevin and Laura, that was just like, that was a bridge too far in terms of knowing how Peter would know all that information.
Peter August, for me, sorry folks, is the guy I hate to hate. I love to hate and love to hate. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's like Peter's in every story. It touches everybody. I'm like, I've never wanted somebody dead so much in my entire life. I'm just like, so we're going to involve Peter in every storyline. He's going to touch every single character on here. So now, Victor still don't understand the whole thing either. So you made it seem like your son was drunk and you threw him on the side somewhere. I don't understand what that was about. But then but then somehow Peter knows that Charlotte's at home. And I mean, why is Peter the greatest villain escape artist on earth?
Exactly. Like, there's really no reason he would have known any of this about, unless.
Well, he said, yeah, people. He said, yes, people everywhere. Sean said, he said, yeah, people everywhere.
Yeah, you know, that I don't buy that anymore. I really don't buy that, because all these people everywhere, that never really seems to come to play. It's just more like a threat that you would say to somebody to get them just to go along with your stuff. We never really see any of that pay off. No. Get people everywhere. Really? Show us that then, because I never really see that happening with you, Peter.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I can understand you want Kevin at the hospital because it's Mac to be right there. But I don't know. I think I could have bought more that maybe Valentine, some reason, figures out. It was just tough to find that Peter knew where Charlotte was and that she was alone. Yeah. Have Kevin with her, and he takes out Kevin and takes Charlotte. I would have been fine with that too. Kevin would have been gunshot buddies.
So I'm gonna mention two things at the top of my chat. And one, it said Louise was born May 28th. She's not a year old yet, so no, she would not be walking yet. My grandson, who turns a year old on the 28th of this month, he's just starting to walk. So no, it said she wouldn't be walking yet. She'd be crawling by now on possibly starting to crawl, but no, she wouldn't be walking yet. She's a little too young. Secondly, 13 years old is not that bad to stay home alone if you're in a controlled building and things. I just think she should have been alone because of what's going on out there. Kevin should have been more like, it's kind of crazy out there. I shouldn't leave you alone. Yeah. But they felt safe. I'm like, why would you say open a piece? I thought that was just weird. In general, a 13-year-old being home alone for a little bit, because Esme was on her way home. To me, that's okay. But I think what's going on out there, that's what's so weird. I wouldn't leave her alone right now because of the Peter stuff. I
also want to know how she was going to pay for that pizza, because she wasn't using a credit card on the phone. Does Laura just have like an account?
She must have something.
I think my grandmother's tab.
My grandma Laura's tab. I don't know, but either way, the poor pizza guy. Dang it.
Yeah,
he's just delivering a pizza. But I just thought more because of what's going on right now, and Kevin knew what was going on. I would kind of put a high alert, like not leave her alone. That's why I just thought, I don't know. But the baby itself is too young to walk. Too young. I mean, if it was walking now, it has to be a magical baby. I don't know if it's a little, I don't know anybody who says like that.
You know what? I was honestly impressed by that baby. I mean, certainly I know that we're in different scenes and we're using multiple babies. But
Yes.
that baby didn't let out a peep during any of that time. I was like,
Nope.
when's that baby gonna start crying? And Peter melts down. He's like, why won't you stop crying? But no,
They rub brandy on its gums. So it's quiet. Rub some brandy on the gum. The kids will be fine. Now I'm alcoholic. Okay. So of course Peter keeps double crossing Victor, and Victor. I'm really liking Charles Shaughnessy in this role. Again, he's another guy I knew as Shane, and also as Sheffield on Nanny. I never really knew he could play a character. He's doing a great job. I think he's doing a great job playing this, and Peter, you could tell he plays it so good. Like he wants to kill Peter so bad. He's so over Peter right now. He's so over him. He is over him. He's like, ugh. And when he was ready to kill him, he had a smile on his face and a spring in his step. And he's like, what you want to know about your granddaughter? And you could tell Peter, Victor's like, dang it. I was ready to kill you. Now I got to do this.
I know. I am enjoying it, but I also enjoyed the sequence with Laura and Victor at the hospital. Where it's like, I find out that you were with Peter. Oh, you're gonna share his fate.
I love that scene though. When she hugged him, I was like, why is she hugging him?
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of weird. And she's like, this is my reenactment. She's like, this is why I'm the OG of the show. I'll get you. And I just love that. She smiled on her face. Totally did the whole scene you just said, all that, and just walked off happily with the granddaughter. Everyone just stood there like, I love that. Everybody loved that scene. That was the scene of the week.
Which is because it's that for Victor to think that he would have nobody suspecting that he was involved in this at all is ludicrous.
Well, he's hilarious. No, he's hilarious. He's just like, and even Valentine was like, so tell me what happened. I don't know what happened. It's almost as if you knew where to look. Like it's like he plays. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like why? I just want my granddaughter. I just love my granddaughter. I just love my son. Oh, and Lawrence is she's over him. He's over Peter. She's over Victor. Now he's like something fishy. He's like something fishy. They're actually making him act smart. Actually, for a change, I feel like finally they're making him act smart. This is good. So, yeah. But nobody's dumb, and I think Victor knows that they're on to him on some level, but he don't care. He don't care.
I mean, more so than any other genre. It's definitely with soaps. It doesn't matter what you know; it only matters what you can prove. And so you know that Victor is behind all this, but if you got no proof, there's nothing you can do, which is frustrating.
Here's what's funny. So, Liesel goes off on Austin. Like, where did that come from?
I mean, I feel like I guess you needed Maxie to snap at some point about all this because she wasn't mad at Chase at Brooklyn when it all came out, but she's mad when Austin said, "Oh, whoops, I think this was me." And even kind of quickly explains why.
Right.
Because you could let this thing with Brooklyn go, and now my baby's gonna just really laid into him. So I feel bad for Austin. He definitely he didn't realize what he was doing, but Maxie was like, no, I'm gonna be mad at you now. So enjoy that. And Liesel being just like, yep, I'm gonna deal with you after this is all done. Like, wait, hold on.
Hey, hello. I mean, hello. But Frank, he's alive. He will be better. He will recover. Your buddy Mac, John J. York, live on another day.
And getting an easy paycheck this week. Always good to see.
Yes, and a flashback. They showed us a flashback here in Felicia.
Oh yes, there you go, partner.
The flashback. So Mac will be fine, folks.
I'm sure we'll see Robin, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be great. Hopefully we get to see her. It'll be great. But the last part of this story, actually, we covered everything. Shit. Okay, so the last part of the storyline, that's the most important part of the storyline, is actually we got Maxie and Peter facing off, which you and I both said needed to happen at some point. They needed to have something happen. But they went in a direction I didn't expect. For me, I didn't expect this. Did not expect this. So they're there, and Maxie actually she talks him into giving up Louise. I did not see that coming, actually.
That was unexpected for that. Yeah, and that it worked.
It worked.
Yeah, I mean, when she started that play, I was like, okay, this is just a stalling tactic. But then it actually worked, and he gave her up. I was like, wow, all right.
I was shocked. And the way they do it, of course, is you put them in a fire station, blah, blah. And so now Chase has the baby back. This is very interesting. So it's back in their arms again. We'll see what that happens next week, obviously, but they're back in arms. But she says, take me. Take me instead. We'll start over, all these lives, whatever. That was so smart of her. I just did not see that coming. So it's very smart. And she's probably thinking, I can at least take him down myself. But now the chat room, some people were saying it made no sense that he left the baby after he said, well, he's a crazy person. Shouldn't his actions not make sense? He's crazy. Because I would counter that with, wasn't he always in love with Maxie, though? Wasn't that the point? Was Maxie? Because isn't that why she was banking? I think Maxie was banking on that he had this unhealthy love for Maxie. So of course he chose Maxie over the baby, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand somebody questioning that as well, for given Peter's declarations about this, how important this child was to him. It seemed kind of quick that he went along with Maxie on this. Like, all right, yes, let's give the baby up, and you and I will just run off together. I mean, Maxie's reasoning to Peter made sense. That's the kind of life you want for your daughter, to be constantly on the run, never have a chance to have, just a life that she doesn't have to worry about, people breathing on her neck constantly. So Maxie's, her desperate plea to Peter. I like that it worked. But for Maxie to also say to Peter, like, and we can have another baby. Like, how would that baby be any different than Louise, in the sense of, like, you're going to still be on the, but in that moment, it's what Peter needs to hear to be able to get him to go along and put this baby down.
Crystal Bush says something that I think is what it is. Peter is strategically smart, but emotionally stupid. That's what it is. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, remember, every villain has to have their own kind of Achilles heel or something about them. And so he's always talked about Maxie. He talked about Louise because he had lost Maxie, so he wanted Louise. Louise was the prize. So I just think it's, I mean, he's crazy. He's a crazy person, folks. He's crazy. Everybody's trying to figure out why he did it so quickly, but he's a crazy person. Crazy folks do all kinds of crazy shit in the moment. Who knows? He was in front of his love of his life, and she was crying and sounded sincere. Folks, I don't know. I mean, he's a crazy person. He's obsessed with her. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think the one thing that'll be interesting is that prior to Peter learning the truth about Louise, it was always, Maxie's going to see it. We'll be a family together.
Yes.
Learning that Maxie was behind the whole Louise thing and did this to Peter, he wanted to punish Maxie.
Yes.
So even though they're together now, I feel like the one difference is that he may be in love with Maxie, but Maxie crosses him, tries to take him out once. I don't think Peter will hesitate to take her out.
Yeah, she's going to do it. She better just make sure she's got a good shot, because he will come after her. He will take her out if he has a chance. She wants someone who loves him, and she did. That's the whole point. She did it first. He got a taste of it for real. But he a crazy person. He's crazy, folks. There's no rhyme or reason for nothing. He's crazy. But they're on the run now. Now they're on the run. And it's like, will they get out? Will they not get out? Will she? I mean, I say she crafts a car, girl. You can't do whatever you can. I don't know. It's crazy.
I mean, part of me, I'm fine with, if you want to, do a typical, what they've been doing with Peter here, where they put him on rest for a couple of months and then pull him back out. I'm good with that, just to see, like, all right, yeah, for a little while, they're gone and nobody can find them. And then in a couple of months, you want to kick this back in. I mean, because I don't know if if the show wants to get rid of him, certainly they can. I mean, they've got, they have Louise away from him. They want to give Maxie that kind of final moment, or Valentine, Robert, Anna, any combination thereof, find him and bring him to justice, and something happens to him. Great too. But if they also want to just play it, they're gone for a couple months and then it rises up and then they get caught, they can do that too. I don't know.
What make me happy is he gets killed, and that's it. He's off the show. He's done. We don't have nobody rising up. That for me, that would make me happy. But I think everybody knows that already. Everybody knows how I feel about this storyline. So I'm like, ugh.
I actually think that even if, the show's going to have to really go out of their way to show us that he's dead. They're going to have to do pull like a Julian Jerome with him.
Yes.
Short of seeing that body dead, in a zipped up bag and all that stuff, short of that, I can see the show just treating him as Faison, where he will pop up, on and off for years and years and years to come.
I have this weird feeling that they're going to get away for a while, and I think I don't know this for a fact. Maybe Kirsten's getting a break. I have a feeling they are going to go away for a while and rest both characters, so that now Louise / Bailey. Somebody said in the chat room, does Felicia go? That's our child. That's our granddaughter. Or do we go, we leave her with the people she's been with this whole time?
Yeah.
That should be interesting, actually, if they go that direction. Because right now, it's almost like, okay, she's back. Here you go, yours again. But everybody knows it's not their biological child.
Very true.
I don't know. I think that will be interesting because Felicia's on. She's here. She's back. She's in the credits. She's back. So maybe they've been using her a little bit. So but I like the fact that Anna was smart and that Laura's been smart and they're all being smart. I'm kind of like that they're all kind of like figuring stuff out. And it's like I like that actually for a change.
Yeah. I feel like the smarter move is Felicia saying, because there's no contention between Brooklyn and Felicia. So I can see show-wise, I think the smarter move is to have Felicia say, you continue raising her. We're in her life as her grandparents, so we'll be there. Because whenever Maxie does come back, then you want to have that storyline of Brooklyn having to give up Maxie to her involved there. It's more time.
I agree. Because right now, because you almost kind of said, she goes, well, James was raised by my parents, and George just stayed her dad. So that's set. So that's good. They're set. So I think that could be good. Like you said later, the ripping of the arms out of Brooklyn to Maxie. That's the scene we want to see, obviously.
Yeah.
So I think you're right with that. So I think Maxie's taking a break. I don't know. I think she's taking a little break. That's why he didn't finish it. I think that's why he didn't finish the story. It's like they're going to take a break because, like a bad penny, if they say in the old days, Peter just rolls all back in. I'm like, oh. It'll never end. It'll never end, Frank. It'll never end.
And again, it's the frustrating thing. We're just the PCPD is just they can be as competent or as foolish as the needs of the storyline dictate. So for them to be, they're stretched really thin. So they can't cover every road leaving town. So Peter's easily able to get a vehicle and drive out of town. The idea of like, hey, let's check out all the docks. Well, any way that you can exit town, whether it be the docks, the bus station, nearest airport, the roads out of town. That we can't close down a city. Okay. And Port Charles isn't huge. We're not talking like it's New York.
No.
A Manhattan. We're not talking like it's like that. Where yes, it takes a little bit, and there could be some little nooks and crannies to get out of. So again, it's always frustrating.
I know. But that's where they left us like cliffhanger basically on Thursday. I thought for sure Friday we'd get the rest of it, and they were like, "Nope, Valentine's Day, part 1."
Oh, oof.
I'm like really? I'd rather. I don't know. I know what I'd rather do than watch all that. But that's the case, I guess.
But just know, we're getting so much closer to Carly's new hairdo. So get ready.
Get ready, folks. Get ready.
About to get her groove back.
That's right, she is. You don't have time for this anymore. It's gonna get back, folks. Very interessante. Mm-hmm. Very much so. Yes.
Give me one male character on the show that's on there right now that she could be in a relationship with.
Well, They want Drew probably. Who's left? They have to spin her in a whole different direction. It'd be like well, there's homeboy coming on the show. What's his name? Cherry St. John is coming on the show. It's somebody. Don't know who. He's age appropriate. So I don't know who he's coming on as. That's an idea. I don't know. That's a good question. I just think that they don't. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. There's really nobody else there to be with.
I mean, the only thing, as much as I think like it would be weird to have it do the Drew thing, it at least would give Drew a lot of screen time, even though it wouldn't probably do his character much good. It would level plenty of screen time. So,
yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. Or maybe somebody new. Maybe somebody new comes on. So I mean, that could be something totally different too. I mean, who knows? But chat. I say Sean. They flirted that for a while back.
That's true.
They did. But then he went on to Alexis, which is still they're still circling each other too. But I will say Sean and Carly.
Yeah, I see though. Like now that they've got Alexis kind of working for the Invader now, dropped off the radar. So yeah, about Alexis and Harmony.
Yep, I think so too. So like, he's somebody who's around, kind of sitting there around and round. So I don't know. So maybe somebody different.
Yeah, although I can't imagine Shaw doing that with Carly, just because of his relationship.
Yeah,
and
but who knows?
I can see Drew doing it more than Sean, only because of the way that even though he apologized, the way he just tore into Drew, I feel like that's still, even though they drank their whiskey together, like they're inside of Drew, just like kind of just.
Yes, they're all Frank's face. I know he didn't like the idea, but I'm just saying. I know. Not many choices unless you went younger or older. So I'll say because Martin's with Lucy, supposedly. We don't see that much of that anymore either, but there's really nobody else. Everybody else is kind of either paired up or there's not. Are either too young or too old for her. One of the two.
Yeah. No, it's true. I mean, I feel like, you need
her Finn would be interesting. Her, Finn, and Elizabeth fighting. There you go. Would be very. I mean,
I would be down for something way different like that than and do a Finn couple like that. Would be interesting. It would be a little different, something different for Carly.
Yes. That was your show, folks. I'm getting ready for Super Bowl now. I'm gonna have some ribs. Eat them. Have a drink or three. But we covered everything. That's really crazy. So that was the week that was on Port Charles. We'll be back next weekend. Talk about the same thing. We'll see how this goes. This is supposedly February sweeps, I guess. So I guess, yeah, I don't know what that means either, but anymore. It used to mean a lot of things would happen during the month of February, but I don't know, folks.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I feel like Frank, I'm not sure.
No.
So should I request from Frank what I always request? Dolores, I can't remember what you request, the rap or whatever. Was that what it is? I don't remember what you request from Frank. I'm like scared Frank, supposed to request something from you.
Please, dude.
Yeah, I just see. I'm like, I don't know what this looks. I'm like, yes. Thank you for watching our show, making it the number one show, one of the number one shows on my network. And thanks for listening to it too. All you guys who are listening. Thank you. 57 people in here. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. And last week, again, you watched all the soap block. We love doing this. There's no audition days until February 27th because the Olympics are on NBC. So there's no Days of Our Lives. It's all Olympics. I'm not even watching. Are you watching the Olympics? I saw curling. That was it. I
watched some snowboard cross and some speed skating. That was it.
Oh, speed skating. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I haven't really watched anything. I mean, I like Winter Olympics usually, but I'm not into it this year. So anyway, way back then. So we support. Go check out Audition Days, My Chocolate Twin, and all that. And today is my 7-year anniversary of doing this stuff. I've never realized in a million years, Frank, that in my 50s I'd be a host for web shows or podcasts, have my own network. I never thought in a million years, Frank, ever at this time in my life.
Look at you.
Never.
And now, look how many lives you've changed.
I think so. I mean, I think I have, right? I think I try to pass it along.
Absolutely. You bring in all this great entertainment. You've connected with tons of people from around the planet that are watching, listening to the content you put out, or watching the content that
Yeah.
you're putting out. Giving people like myself and other people a chance to get kind of have a chance to talk about the stuff that they love with a lot of other people as well. So look at you, James Lott Jr.
I never thought. I just never thought. I never thought. So I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for just, I mean, you guys helped make my dreams come true. Because literally, all this would be nothing. I was talking to myself. So I'm talking to people out there who actually receive it. Whether you like me or not, I'm glad you receive it and watch it. So I'm glad you guys are watching it. But I'm very grateful to Tony Moore and Mark G. Freeman, Peter Ramos, AfterBuzz TV, for giving me a start. And I'll give a shout out to my other show is turning 7 years old this year, later on in the year. And that's my organizing show, which Frank was on back in the day. That show's turning 7 years old in June. And that was my first thing too I did. So 7 years, 7 is my lucky number this year, Frank. 7 years.
Look at that.
I don't know.
So,
magic number. So everybody, thank you so much. Frank said, happy go, Jackie. I'm at James Lott Jr. and we'll see you next week. And if you watch the Super Bowl, watch it for the commercials, watch it for this halftime show.